Hey, Dan Candela here, co-creator of Expert Hypnosis Training, and I am here with one wonderful, fabulous guest and the other not so fabulous. No, I'm just kidding. Michael DeShala and I actually started Expert Hypnosis Training about 3 years ago, and since then we have trained dozens of students all around the world, actually. And today we're going to introduce you into one of our most fascinating, interesting students. But before we introduce him, let's get into a very good friend of mine who is a very good training partner as well, uh, Michael DeShalet. Welcome to the call, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Dan. It's great to be here. And I'm very excited to introduce our guest today because he is an amazing person. The second you meet him, you know when he walks in the room or when you walk in the room that he's present in, you feel a certain presence, you feel a certain vibe, and it's very, very magnetic. He draws you to him with his magnetic personality. He's an outstanding human being. He really, really cares about his clients and what he has to offer them. In addition to now, he's an amazing hypnotist who I know is going to change the world with his techniques, his strategies, and with everything that he does. And he has really taken his sphere of influence and incorporated that into his practice, which is where he draws a lot of his clients from. But I'm not going to talk too much about him because I'm going to let him introduce himself to you so you can really see that magnetism that I'm talking about. So please welcome our very special friend, Adam Sartwell.
Hi, my name's Adam Sartwell. I have no idea how to talk about myself sometimes, so I will just go for it. From an early age, went into the metaphysical a little bit with my own intuitive stuff that happened to me, and it changed the way I think about the world. And as I went through that, I wanted to explore the blessings of the mind. And my own background is in a metaphysical space, and I wanted to add to my ability to help other people, both in my own community and outside it. Uh, yeah. I'm horrible talking about myself.
Well, no, but here's what I know about you, Adam. You know,
Yeah.
and if you want to talk specifically about the metaphysical stuff that you practice, I think that'd be very cool because I will tell you, I'm a skeptic on a lot of things in life, and not so much skeptical that I don't believe they can exist, but
Mhm.
skeptical is in I don't really know a lot about a lot of stuff. Other than when I grew up, I was pretty narrow minded about certain things. And now in the last 20 years, my mind has been expanded by meeting people like you who are willing to share their knowledge and wisdom and their experiences and their profession with me and allow me to ask questions about it and to learn more from it. So I don't know if you want to get into that. If you're comfortable doing that, let's go for it. If not, we can move on to the first question if you want.
Sure. So that whole sort of psychic awareness awakening that I had brought me to studying different religions. And as I went through that, I wanted something that included psychic abilities and past lives and um, the world in a more magical way. And I came to witchcraft. I didn't like start there. I went through Buddhism and all of these different things to sort of learn what happened to you after you died, and where I felt comfortable. And I became so enamored with witchcraft that I have um, basically been doing it for what, 23 years or something like that. It's crazy. Um,
Since you
and
were two,
yeah, well,
you look 25.
Yeah.
thank you. I mean, I started at 15, so yeah,
Like, do
it's
the
been a
math.
while. Now I'm in my 40s, so um, it's definitely been a big part of my life, and my practice has led me to creating with my partners a huge community called the Temple of Witchcraft. I'm one of the co-founders, and with it, I am the minister who deals with all the healing stuff from our point of view. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. And Adam has such a great understanding of it. And this is when you know somebody is an expert in their field, is when somebody like me comes along who knows nothing about it and who just likes to joke around and make jokes about it, you know. And I had questions with Adam, and I'm like, is it like Hogwarts, the school of witchcraft and wizardry? Do you get a wand? Do you have to wear a cape? Do you have spells and incantations? And he took that very, very, you know, casually, and we joked about it and stuff. But he taught me a lot in a little amount of time. Taught me a lot of the understanding of witchcraft. And it's not like even it sounds even weird calling it witchcraft. It's really just common sense. It is, and I like the way you said it. You said it's a religion. It's a path. It's a spiritual path. And again, I don't think it's very much different than any of the other religions that are practiced out there. So that being said, let's jump right in on this and I want to start connecting the dots for people that are watching this, and how really, you know, you've incorporated your sphere of influence into this newfound practice that you have called hypnosis. So what advice would you give to others getting into hypnosis as a business?
So one of the things that I feel like I have learned since I took the course and all of that, and while taking the course, was that being a hypnotist, you have to be a very good marketer, researcher, maybe even be your own accountant, an office manager, and try and like put on all of these different hats while trying to be a good boss to yourself, which it takes work, definitely. And I think being that sort of entrepreneur can be very freeing and also very terrifying at the same time. And I have to say, self-hypnosis has been very helpful getting over those humps and getting myself back into, you know, being a good office manager and, you know, being better at marketing and doing all of that stuff. Is that a good answer?
That's great. That's great. That's good. That's good advice. That's good advice.
Well, because everybody takes something different away from this. And I remember you had originally reached out to me through a referral or recommendation from another hypnotist. And it started off, you and I were doing like a private mentorship together, and I'm like, hey, why don't you take this, the training that Mike and I are doing in Vegas, so that way you can be in a room with other people, and we'll be practicing together and everything like that. What made you get interested in the training, or why did you want to take the training and pursue things with hypnosis?
Well, a little bit more about my background and seeing that I wanted to explore the mind more. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, so I kind of wanted to take it in a different way, and I did multiple years of working with mental health, dealing with at-risk kids, and working with in education and things like that. So I saw issues that therapy does really well with over a long period of time, but there were things that looking back on it, I could see where hypnosis would have helped. And I wanted to sort of put that ability for kids and for people and, you know, just help those people transform and change. One of the biggest issues that I see with my community and outside it is being able to change your mind about things. And if you can't change your mind, you really can't manifest it. You know, if you can't change your mind to, you know, that it's okay to wear a mask, you're gonna get sick, or you know. I just wanted to help people in a different way, and being in the metaphysical community, there's not a lot that can make you stand out for people, that they're going to want to come to you for help or for aid. And I thought that might change my vibration a little bit so that people are more attracted to, what I can do to help them.
Right. And the cool thing is when you first reached out to me and we first started talking, I was like, this guy's already been doing hypnosis. You're just not calling it that, because you were doing group meditations, you were doing
Mm-hmm.
past life regressions, you were just doing them differently. And I think what you do brings some of the mysticism and some of the magic back into hypnosis, because so many people think or used to think that hypnosis was and some people still do think that hypnosis is some form of witchcraft or some form of
Mm-hmm.
voodoo, or it's very mystical. And you can take it, and you're a proven example of this. You can take it one way, or you can take it the other way, or you can meet somewhere in the middle, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I said you are one of the most interesting students that we've had, because you have taken it this way, you have taken it this way, and you've also let them meet in the middle, so that hypnosis is in and of itself what you do, its own entity. You've also combined it with other things as well. So it's fascinating to see how each one, and Mike, I'm sure you'd agree with this, it's fascinating to see the path that each one of our students have taken with this. And Adam is an excellent case example of how you can really take and make anything with this.
That's perfect, because that's actually the next question I wanted to ask you, Adam, is so what have you done since the training? How have you incorporated this new skill set into your already existing vast array of tools that you have for working with people?
So the ways that I've sort of worked this into both my practice and being a hypnotist, I uh, was sort of inspired when we did the whole course, that I was like, oh wow, I should really do a dream course because I am a psychic dreamer. So I was like, oh, I should do this, and I got really excited about it, doing it as like a video um, course, and doing it very differently than I've done courses before. So I put together Awakening the Dream Seer course from my website, and it teaches you how to do dream incubation. So you can ask for a dream for aid, how to interpret your dreams, how to re-enter a dream so that you can get more information, and maybe even have a discussion with some of the symbols that come up. Um, and so that was my way of blending the hypnosis world with my own and sort of integrating that. Um,
Yeah, and
I
I agree.
also,
I agree with Dan. I want to interrupt you for a second, because I agree with Dan. Is you already have been doing hypnosis most of your life in your spiritual path, and
Mhm.
so really for you, I think it was a good transition, and it was a natural progression for you to just add another tool to the tool belt. But go ahead now with what you were going to say
But I've also helped people in very mundane ways as well.
now.
I've helped someone with stage fright, with confidence in communication, with getting over anxiety over communication. I actually helped someone with confidence in their bladder control. Like, I've done some weird things, and then I've done the like normal like weight loss and smoking cessation. So I think I've sort of gone with both the scientific and with the uh, mystical. I've also done some courses on using both hypnosis and a little bit of self-help stuff. I recently did a course that was opening up to self-love, and getting people to use hypnosis to bring about a vibration that they love themselves,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
getting them on that. I've also done a lot of past life regression. People love that. Um,
See,
and
now we're getting into the stuff. And see,
yeah.
I was just gonna tell you, because if you put a period at the end, if you were gonna stop talking there, I was gonna say to Adam, none of that sounds very witchy like. None of that sounds very witchcrafty. Like that's like, oh wow, bladder control. Ooh, okay.
I
Oh,
know.
stage
I've
fright.
done very
Ooh, okay.
mundane things
Yeah,
too.
and but I mean, you okay? Just if you have a real quick short story, what's the craziest thing? And again, every now and then, a regular hypnotist like myself, and I don't work with a lot of the weird, crazy stuff like Dan does. Dan works with a lot of weird, crazy stuff. I don't work with a lot of weird, crazy stuff, but every now and then I get somebody who claims to have been abducted by a UFO. I don't judge. I don't know if they have or haven't been. My job is to not judge, is just to help them with their understanding. And so that, to me, that's kind of like, that's weird stuff. That's cool. Or a past life regression. So what's the weirdest thing? Give us some real witchcrafty thing, because I think that's an attraction to a lot of people. Is they want to do past life regressions. They want to do one on themselves, and then help other people, because I've had my experiences with that too. And so that has changed my perspective on a lot of things too. And I think that's what you're doing, Adam, is you change people's perspectives on how they look at life. And I think that's, if I got anything out of you, or I took away anything by learning about you, it was that my perspective of what a witch is changed. And I learned a lot that it's really just about how we see the world around us. And so I thought that was the most fascinating thing. I'm disappointed you don't have a wand though, but I'm kind of bummed about that. But anyways,
I have a wand.
do you? Okay, well, you didn't bring it to
have
the
a
training,
wand.
Adam.
I totally have a wand. Yeah.
Okay. What year of Hogwarts are you really on? So if you have a real quick story, maybe what's the weirdest, craziest, wildest thing you've done with hypnosis?
Wildest thing I have done with hypnosis.
And of course, keeping client anonymity, of course. Yes, yeah, of course.
Well, it doesn't have to do with the magical, mystical part. The bladder control one was really hilarious to me.
Because witches have bladder problems too, Mike.
Yeah,
I do. No, I have bladder problems.
I think she was. I mean, I haven't had any crazy clients. That one I thought was humorous, because she wanted to go on trips, and she was older, and she wanted to go for all these things. So we were doing our hypnosis, and I kept saying, "Oh, you're gonna feel confidence on trips," and blah blah blah. And then she and her group of friends went to the Downton Abbey Museum exposition here near Boston, and she tripped on an acorn and fell over, and so she came in with a broken foot for her hypnosis session, and I was like, "Oh my God, what happened? Are you okay?" Like, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I went on a trip."
Really? Was it in the fall?
And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it was in the fall." Anyway, so we talked about it, and then she, of course, goes, "Well, it worked though, because I didn't have any bladder issues, even though I fell."
Wow.
I was like, "Excellent. Perfect."
That's cool, because that would
We're not
be,
gonna use the word trip,
most people
though,
would tinkle
anymore.
a little bit. Yeah. Most people would tinkle a little bit if they fell. Yeah. So I don't know. I would.
Adam, the great thing too is you have taken this. You've worked with individual clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've also done group work too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes hypnotists will limit themselves with just working with one person at a time. But what you've been able to do is pull from your community. And this is the thing that's important for anybody to know who wants to become a hypnotist, is you are all a member of some part of a community, whether it be a church community or the Temple of Witchcraft, whether it be a yoga community, Reiki community, whether it be a doctor's office, or even where you work. So you can, whether it be if you're a therapist or psychologist, you can pull from your current client basis. One of our former students was a teacher, and she just sent a audio hypnosis session to her entire class and to all the parents. So you can work and Adam, you've worked with people in many different capacities. I know at the time that we're shooting this, we're in the midst of a worldwide pandemic, but can you describe your practice and and who you were working with, kind of what, if you did have any niches, and you kind of explained what some of your offerings were, but can you describe your practice a little bit, and kind of where you have been, and kind of where you're going with this as well?
Well, as starting out, I sort of went with the diverse, whatever, I'll try it, kind of approach of sort of seeking those things out. And I feel like my own practice is still searching out that niche, market. Part of me, wants to incorporate everything, because I'm like, I want to be jack of all trades, but you can't really do that forever. You're not going to get as many people attracted to you, because they're going to be like, oh, well, he does everything. Yeah. I want to go with the person who is specific to this. The bigger part of my practice has been past life regressions. I've done more of those than anything else. Mm-hmm. When I had a physical space, I worked in a studio where there was mediumship going on in other rooms. So the metaphysical part of it is the part where, people feel comfortable with me. I've even having to shift to doing virtual hypnosis and being online has been quite the shift. But all of my clients who've had it were like, oh, that was just as good as being right in the room with you.
Right.
But I've also had clients who were like, no, I don't want to do anything that's not physical. I want to be in your presence.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
Well, you do have a presence, Adam.
Well, thank you.
And no, it's a good presence. It's a really good presence.
So. It's an amazing presence. And with that, you getting a little deeper into your practice, you were talking about how hypnosis is, like, you do have a separate entity of hypnosis, but you also have an integrated entity with hypnosis as well, integrated with your other communities. Can you explain a little bit about that too?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I'm putting on different hats, depending on, what I'm doing. But I am an author. I've written 2 books, on one that's got 40 different meditations and one that's on Reiki. So I already had that before I'd even started doing hypnosis. So it was kind of like, I have my author page, and that has my classes, getting a reading with me, all that crazy stuff that I do. And then when I started doing hypnosis, I wanted to make sure that I, didn't overwhelm people, because some people are afraid of witches, even though I think they're the nicest people around. I didn't want to scare people away, but I also wanted to put in that I'm not just your regular hypnotist. Right. So when I, sort of branded myself, it was more intuitive hypnosis, though that has had its drawbacks as well, because people are like, intuitive? You're going to psychically douse what I need? Like, no, that's not it. Sorry. But I sort of brought that psychic ability, that stuff into my practice, because it's still a part of me.
Awesome.
And a lot of the people who are attracted to me are because it's me.
What I think that's the key thing is that, you are who you are. We are who we are. Everybody has some uniqueness to them, and everybody has a group of people, like Dan was talking, whether it's a church group, whether it's their group of family, friends, or business group, or whoever. So is there anything else that the people that are watching could learn from you right now? Is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey in becoming a hypnotist?
Yeah. My first thing would be, don't wait for perfection. Don't wait to be perfect. Because if you wait until you're perfect, you're never going to get there. You need practice. You need to to actually do it. And confidence doesn't come overnight. It takes practice. It takes sticking with it. It's all about keeping learning. And you do get there, but it's not something that is immediate. As much as we would love to make immediate change, we're all about that in hypnosis, right? Sometimes it does take time to get you there. And I also want to put in there that you should take the time to do self-work as well, and do self-hypnosis, do work with other hypnotists, anything that is going to help you feel like you're confident in doing the right thing. Does that make sense?
It makes
Awesome.
perfect sense.
That's
it
awesome.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So Dan, do you have any more questions for Adam?
I have one wrapping up. I mean, this is a really important question, and you know, we've some of our other students want to answer this, and I mean, basically, if you don't answer this question, we reserve the right to revoke your certification. And question is, who do you like better, me or Mike?
Here we go.
Oh,
Here
it's
we
a
go.
tough one.
And,
It's a tough
and Adam,
one.
Adam, let me encourage you to be careful, Adam, because don't make me use the Patronus on you. Okay, do not make me use the Patronus. I will put your butt back on the Hogwarts Express and send you back to platform 9 3/4. And you mentioned your hat, all the hats you wear. Do you wear the sorting hat ever? I'm just you're asking for a friend.
No. And I don't need a wand to get you. Just so you know. I'm a Libra, so making this decision is super hard. And it might take me 4 months to make. But to just throw out some information, when I got approved, planned to be with Dan here, stuff started happening to me.
Weird stuff started happening.
Weird stuff. Like the moment after I came down and I was like, I want to celebrate, let's go to Starbucks with my partner. And my partner's like, okay, maybe in 15 minutes, okay? And within that next 15 minutes, the back of my car got struck by a man who he was a maintenance man, had a prisoner with him, and he had come into our yard to pee in our yard, and then he backed his big truck into my car. So I was like, well, I'm not going to treat this like a sign, because it is not. This is just coincidence. And then I went through all that rigmarole, and then when Dan and I actually got together to do the training, the one-on-one stuff, a lot of crazy stuff happened, but a crazy storm came up randomly
in the middle of nowhere,
from the middle of nowhere.
Like cloud. You and I, Adam, had said we gotta turn the energy around, and all of a sudden this cloud just gathered over my office, and more weird stuff happened after that.
Yes, it got very windy, and you were very concerned about your Jeep and getting the lid on it, or whatever
Right.
you want to call it.
I have a Wrangler, so the roof was off at the time, and I needed to go back out and put the roof back on my car.
And then the wind came up and took that roof and threw it into my car. So we've had a crazy time.
So wait a minute. So in
I've
other words,
with Mike.
so in other words, so Dan screwed up your car with his car parts. So
Yes.
The real answer to your question is you like me more than him. Looks like we're out of time, folks. We should probably wrap this interview real quick.
Adam,
And then I verbally accosted you when do you go to Hogwarts? I think it was probably one of the first questions I asked you. because it just came out. I can't stop it. I don't have a filter. You know that.
Well, I have to admit that first evening where the students all went out together,
Yeah.
I did more talking that night, answering questions about metaphysical things and everything that everyone had ever experienced during that night. I barely ate what I ordered.
And this is, I mean, this is the important thing, is when you do take the expert hypnosis training, we don't just cut you off and say, okay, go be hypnotist now. We become, with as many students as we can, lifelong friends, associates, and colleagues, because we are colleagues, to the point where, Adam, because I don't do past life regression. I'm not, I've done it many times before. It's just not my specialty. And I actually send people to you for past life regression, because I know you do it very well. I actually have a client tomorrow who is my current client and asked about past life regression. I said, I actually know somebody who does it a lot better than I do. So I'll be sending you another client. And this is the thing, with everything that's going on now, it doesn't matter where we are in the world, we can refer people back and forth to one another. And with our students, we have that level of trust. And we're going to get into that in some of the other interviews that we do as well. So when you take our training, Adam, you had mentioned like you went out with the students, and everyone becomes a community, and it's a very very open community that we have with people, and we want to keep everything open and just foster a very supportive community. And Adam, it is a pleasure to have you as a member of our community, and hopefully have us as a member of your community as well, to continue to engage back and forth.
Yeah, I really look at it even beyond a community is it's a family to me, and I'm so thankful to have you as part of that. Both of you, actually, but Dan knows that. But Adam, if I haven't told you that before, I'll tell you that now. I thank you for being part of my family, because it's made my knowledge expand even more. So even as trainers, we learn from our students, because every student is different, and every student brings something different to the table. And you certainly bring a lot to the table. And so, and if anybody wants to learn more about witchcraft, you guys have a website?
Yes, we do. templeofwitchcraft.org.
Templeofwitchcraft.org. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So
because we're a 501c3.
Nice. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you'd like to join our training, or if you'd like to reach out to Adam, he is all over the place. He is on social media. I will also list his website and the resources as well. If you'd like to reach out to Adam, we would love to have you as students as well, so that way we can help you create the greatest level of success for you as well, for all the people watching this. So Adam, thank you for joining us. Mike, as always, you are a fabulous host, and you're the fun one. Be well, everybody. Catch you in the next videos.